Next up, we have Nancy calling from Indianapolis, Indiana. Hey, Nancy, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you both. And I just count this the will of God to get through today. I've had this burden, and I just needed counseling and your wisdom. So thank you for taking my call.
Well, thanks for calling.
And a shout out to your screener. You're welcome, because he helped me try to sum up my dilemma.
Oh, Austin's the best in the game. That's very kind.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, basically, my youngest niece is in college over in Australia, and she's about to enroll in her third year this month. Yes. So her mom is really not involved in her life. And so I felt burdened because at least my niece and I have a relationship. So I feel burdened for her outcome, for her success. So I've been helping her these past couple of years with her tuition and living expenses. Although she has been working, the Lord's provided for her. But at this point, with her third year, she doesn't see her schedule really working out for work. So because her mom's not really involved, what I guess part of my frustration is her mom and I had received inheritance, and she was given more because at the time she had 3 dependents, and this is in the last 6-7 years. So I don't like it that I'm even feeling mercenary. I don't like that, and I feel like this is like a shining light on me, not trusting the Lord to provide for me. I'm looking at my inheritance. So because of this burden I feel to help my niece succeed, and I believe in her because right now she has this vision, this goal. That's why she went into university. But because it's in a way straining my wealth, in a sense, I want her mom to step in.
What's going on with her mom?
I can't have conversation with her mom. Well, I guess bottom line, she's in. To me, it's a cult, and I felt for your previous caller. I guess 2 calls ago, this is divided. She was saying it's just something weird happened in her family. Well, this is weird too. So the leader has everybody turn their backs on anybody who doesn't support him. So I feel the Lord.
We're talking like a religious cult, like a Scientology level situation?
Yeah. Well, I think it's small based, but yeah, and it's been devastating on my niece and I. So I feel because she was living overseas, my niece went over to Hillsong, and because of Hillsong, and then left, and because her goals changed, and it's just as well because that church has had its own share of problems.
So what is she doing now?
So, okay, her goal is the children went through foster care. She and her sisters. So my niece's heart has always been for children. And she wants to be in a social care system, that foster care, which I commend her for.
And she's still in Australia?
Back. Yes.
Why isn't she back
really
stateside?
No family there's no reason for her to come back. I'm not enough to bring her back. It's like the whole family has just divided themselves.
I imagine college, though, is more expensive in Australia for her than it would be here.
Well, I guess her expenses are minimal because
she's not able to do anything.
Home.
You're floating her expenses.
That's what I wondered. Okay, I had that thought
So
too.
here's my honest take on this, Nancy. She needs to move back to the States. She needs to go to an in-state school, community college, because tomorrow her goals might change again. And Aunt Nancy is floating all of the expenses at the detriment of her own financial situation, and she's just riding high, riding free. And I understand you want to help her, but it feels like she's taking advantage of you in a way.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you feel that?
Go ahead.
Do you feel that at all?
Yes.
I don't think it's malicious, but I don't want you to feel this burden emotionally that you now have to be her mother and you need to take care of her every expense. She can work. I worked in college with a full schedule, graduated a half semester early. Christina worked. It's possible. And I'm not saying she's out there partying every day, but as a student, you have time in between classes and in between studying to work. And so I'm going to challenge that piece of it, and I'm also going to challenge the fact that she needs to go eat, pray, love in Europe to get this degree to take care of kids. Do you agree? Am I more angry about this than you are? I'm just hearing the facts on paper for the first time.
No, I like it. I've kind of sensed that. Maybe I was just hesitant to bring that up. I felt either you need to do this and this, or you're coming home. You're coming back.
I just think you're a really sweet person, and I'm worried that you're becoming a doormat for her to say, well, my life's been hard. Mom's not in the picture. Aunt Nancy got this inheritance. She's okay. And at the same time, I don't want you to have to delay your own retirement and have no wealth and be in a really sucky financial situation because you allowed yourself to feel like a burden for this girl.
Okay.
Just free yourself of that.
Have you had any conversations with your niece about this?
Oh, well, yes, but not at the, not to the point where, no, you need to consider coming home because I can't be funding you. I haven't had that conversation.
How much are you giving her per month?
Well, at this, I don't know if I can average. I did look at
per year.
The past few years.
How much have you given her the last few years?
I'd say maybe close to, I don't know if it's even 20,000. I know the 2-year tuition in U.S. money has been 32 to 34,000
per year, or over 2 years.
No, for 2 years.
If you want to continue giving but have boundaries around it, you could say, hey, listen, you're in your 3rd year. I'm going to continue giving you, let's say, $500 a month for those 2 years. The rest is on you. You need to work. You need to figure it out. But this is as much as I can do right now financially.
Okay. But
and that's very generous on your end. And if you want to say, hey, I can no longer do this starting tomorrow, she's going to have to figure it out. And she's young and she's resilient. And she's living on her own, right, in Australia?
Yes.
And hey, Nancy, this may be a non-point, but does the mom still have inheritance, or did that go to the cult?
Yeah, thank you. That's what it's been. I know a big chunk of it is gone to this cult.
Do you know if there's, with her getting more inheritance because of the 3 dependents, do you know if any of that money was in the kids' names, or was it all in your sister's name?
I think it was in my sister's name, yeah.
And no other family involved in this situation?
No, it's just she and 2 of her daughters and even a granddaughter.
Okay, so you feel like that money is gone. There's probably no way to get that to actually go towards
pretty
the
much because my niece has hinted or felt as much that she doesn't think her mom really is in the position to give, and maybe that's why her mom hasn't offered to help her.
Gosh, what a sad situation.
Yeah.
Well, I love your heart, Nancy. I really do. I want the best for both of you, and I don't think that means you have to just fork over all of your money to fund her life for an indescript amount of time. I don't think that's the best for either of you.
Yeah, Nancy, you are so sweet.
It's going to take a hard conversation with her and really get the details of, hey, what is your plan? Here's how much. You need to also sit down and figure out how much am I willing to give, if any more, but not just an open bank account for her to take from either.
Yeah, and your heart is in the right place, and I think that there's a lot of, grief at the loss of, the relationship with your sister. There's grief that your niece was in the foster care system. There's a lot of emotions tied into this, but it's important to kind of separate, what can you do from a mentor perspective? What can you do to love your niece well versus what needs to happen financially? Because you're not responsible for what happened with her mother and her finances. That is your sister's bad decisions, and you don't have to make up for it. But I do love your heart and your care for her, Nancy. You're a very sweet woman, but be willing to have that hard conversation.